Erica, and today's video is going to be showing you how I make this Kokedama. So I first saw this setup, this plant moss ball setup, when I was at the Los Angeles Rose Bowl flea market last month, and I thought it looked really cool, but I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what it was called or anything like that. And then I went to the flower district in Los Angeles, downtown LA, and I saw some sheet moss there when I was shopping, so I decided to buy it, and I figured that I would try this out. When I looked more into it, I found out that this is actually a Japanese type of bonsai, I guess, and Kokedama literally translate in English to moss ball. So that's why I decided to make this. I think it's really cute, and I hope that my plant enjoys its new little setup here, living in a moss ball. So first of all, the items that we're gonna need to make this Kokedama is some sheet moss. It's just preserved sheet moss, so what you want to do to be able to use it is to soak it in water for ideally an hour. If you remember, like I did not remember, you can put it and soak it overnight. Another thing that you need is the plant that you want to make into this moss ball. So ideally you would use a fern, pretty much a plant that likes to stay damp. So here I have my fern I'm going to use. It is a heart-shaped fern. Other things you're going to need: peat moss. I have this one from EB Stone Organics. Bonsai potting mix. This one I also got from EB Stone Organics, and I just found this in a nursery by my house. You also need some twine to ravel it all together. I've never done this before. This is my first time, and Better Homes and Gardens says that you need a 7:3 ratio of 7 parts peat moss and 3 parts bonsai mix. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So we'll call this 7 and put in 3 parts of bonsai potting mix. So for that whole bag, this little bit is what I made. Does this look like 7:3 to you? I think that should be fine. So I'm going to mix it. We're going to moisten this up with a little bit of water so that it can be moldable into a ball form. It's probably gonna get messy. I'm just waiting for the point that I have to touch it with my hands. It's fine for me to touch dirt with my hands, but when I'm filming, it's kind of difficult because I have to get up to go wash my hands, and then sometimes I might need to touch the camera or something, and then it just gets really messy. Okay, so I think this is good for the ball mixture right now. I think that's a good amount that I made also. I'm gonna set this aside because right now I need to get my fern ready. I've been using this pot to dump my old dirt in, and I'm gonna need to dump out the old dirt of this fern. So I'm just gonna wiggle it out. You need to basically free the roots of your plant because we're going to be putting its roots in a new home. It's basically like repotting, but into not a pot. I always have trouble getting all the dirt out from the roots because I'm so scared of damaging the roots. And then someone said that they use chopsticks, so I'm going to use chopsticks right now. Okay, most of the roots are out. I have damaged them significantly. So I think that this is a good amount to leave on, I guess. It's not the best. I could have done better, but it's what we have. You just want it to be moldable. I think this should work. And I'm just gonna mold a ball around. I've also seen people mold the ball separately and then just split it in half and then put the 2 halves around the roots, but I'm just gonna do it this way because it's kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, just getting it done, having the roots inside the ball already, and then you pretty much can just form it pretty well from there. I'm gonna be the first to say that this is a lot harder than it looks. it's probably because of my mixture. So I saw some new growth about to come out on my fern, and I hope it still comes out after I've damaged the roots so horribly. And I guess that will just kind of tell me if it likes this new ball. Okay, so I think that this is as good of a ball as I'm gonna get. In my opinion, it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna set that over here and hopefully it doesn't crack and break. And then I'm gonna come over here and grab my sheet moss to wrap it. This was pre-soaked, and I'm gonna lay it down this way. Let me move the dirt out of the way. So I'm gonna lay it down this way with the dark side facing down because we're gonna wrap the plant here. And hold on, I think I have a bigger sheet. I do have a bigger sheet. I'm gonna use that instead of this. I'm gonna place the ball on top of the sheet, and oh no, the ball broke. Well, I'm just gonna wrap the sheet around it like so. This is a huge ball it's turning out to be. And of course, since it's moss, if you need to rip the edges a little bit, you can do that. I'm gonna get my twine to try and help me because this is turning out to be way bigger of a struggle than I originally thought. I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna try and form the ball back together. Good enough. And once I wrap it, I'm going to immediately start to wrap it so that it stays together. Kind of just needing to mold the moss around so that it looks like a ball. Okay, and I'm gonna get my twine. For now, I'm just gonna wrap it in a circle like this and tie it just so that I have the twine stationary here. Okay, and now I'm going to use it to wrap the ball. Pretty much you just wrap it whatever way for the ball to stay in place. If you've seen them, you can definitely see they're wrapped randomly. Also, instead of twine, you can use whatever. If you want, you can use like something that won't show as much. Like this twine is very visible on this. And I need to add a little bit more moss on the side right here. There we go. This ball is looking a little funky, but I'm gonna wrap it so it looks like a real ball. Okay, and I'm gonna cut the string now. Oh, maybe up here. Cut the string and tie it, or tuck it in, I guess. I'm just gonna tuck this in. Okay, and this is my first Kokedama ball. This one looks insane. It is super uneven, but since it is a moss ball, I'm just gonna keep trying to mold it. Let me clean up a little bit and I'll show you this ball more closely. Okay, you guys, so here is my first Kokedama ball. I think it could definitely look a lot better, but I like it. It kind of makes me laugh a little bit because it's just so like, oh, what's going on over there? But it was fun. It was a little frustrating to make, but I'm gonna do this again with probably I think I'm gonna do it with an asparagus fern because I want more of these. So pretty much I I think I could have wrapped it better. Okay, so my camera died in the middle of filming before, and since I don't have a spare battery yet, I had to wait for the battery to charge. But anyways, I think I was talking about how I could have wrapped this plant better. As I was kind of just starting to edit, sitting on my bed, the more I looked at it, the more I was like, wow, that's a good Kokedama ball. So I'm starting to be really happy with how it turned out. Like I was saying before, I could have wrapped it with the twine more selectively so that it wouldn't look like just one big ball of yarn kind of. So the last step that I'm gonna do is I'm going to hang it because I want this ball to be hanging in my backyard. So as I string this up, I'm just gonna talk about what kind of plant you want to select for this, where you want to hang it. So earlier I said that it's a plant that you need to be more damp, which is definitely true. You need a plant that can be more damp because the way that you water this is you can mist it every day, but once the moss gets too dry, you need to soak it in water for like an hour and then let it drain off. Kind of like the way you would water a tillandsia, I think. And okay, kind of like how you would water a tillandsia. And so if you have, like, for example, a sansevieria in here, you're gonna overwater that baby and it's gonna be sad. So make sure you're choosing a plant that can live in this situation. And then also, because it is literally a hanging moss ball, you can't have it in direct sunlight because then the moss will dry out too quick and it'll die. So keep it in maybe like a corner where it's not getting too much sunlight and it won't dry out too quickly. But here is my final product. I love it. I think it looks great. You could also just leave it like this without hanging it up. I don't know. I've seen people put flowers on it and then keep it in a vase, and that was the way they did it. I definitely made this vase a lot bigger than it had to be. So hopefully that doesn't affect how much water it can retain and in turn kill my plant that way. Oh, also another tip is when you're molding it, it's a lot easier to like be able to like press into a table like this. So just so you're aware. Oh, also another thing is before I used my moss, I didn't like squeeze it to get all the water out. I would definitely recommend you do that because I think it would make it a lot easier. Once the water dries, this string should probably become a prettier color. But like I said, all in all, I really like it. It was my first try, so I wasn't expecting perfection, I guess. I wasn't expecting perfection, but here it is. But yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below, anything I could have maybe done better, or if you're gonna try this yourself, because I really like the resulting product. It looks adorable. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!